Alright, so this was the first one. There's still like some leftover black filament or something in it. And this is the second one. PLA 220 degrees. Kind of some issues here. But overall, still, not terrible. So now we're using this stuff here, which prints at a really low temperature for some reason. I'm not sure how well it's turning out because I can't see it yet. This nozzle is extremely hard to view. It looks like it might be okay. And I have a feeling it's going to print better than the PLA. That PLA was really, really, really old. Like, I have no idea how old. Maybe 10 years old. I definitely think that filament doesn't take kindly to different temperature changes a lot. The stuff that I got was probably in Chandler, Arizona, most of its life, which gets really hot. And I don't know if Dave had it in the garage or where he had it, where it was stored at, but it was definitely exposed to heat. And then in Arizona we get monsoon storms, so we get like really high moisture in certain times of the year, but most of the year it's pretty dry. But what I've noticed is from a lot of the filament that's come from him that a lot of it had issues. I think it was the Overture stuff, but there's other stuff I think he bought 10 years ago. So I've definitely noticed the difference between the stuff that I got from him and the stuff that I buy off Amazon. So anyway, they seem to get kind of like a squishy deal like that. I'm using this as a spring steel, I think we would call it a spring steel PC sheet. And it's got lots of gouges and stuff in it here and there. There's still some filament stuck to it in certain spots. There's a hole in it right there, but I'm not going to print over there, so I'm not going to worry about it. And we're just testing it out, and we're getting it dialed in without clipper, without any other extra complicated stuff other than the direct drive and the dual Z. So, I mean, obviously those two things could introduce all sorts of problems, but the extruder is stock. The BL touch sensor, CR touch sensor, it's stock. There's no other modifications to this. The firmware is stock. So I felt like this was a good printer to start with. The Ender3 Pro that I have has got the upgraded screen, the upgraded motherboard, some kind of custom firmware on it, and I figured I would leave that one alone. The V32 has direct drive custom firmware, so I figured that wasn't a good one to mess with. So this is the one that I've been trying to use clipper with on the Sonic pad over here. I'm going to take the Sonic pad and I'm going to hook it up to this and give it a go on this instead. So that's another reason I went that route. This one, actually, what I would prefer to do is either run Raspberry Pi or the $99 Solval touchpad. So, but this one here, I want it to just print. I don't need it to be fast. I don't need clipper on it. I don't need wireless printing. I don't need to use it every day. So I basically just want it to where, like, hey, I need to print something and everything else is busy. Let's use this one. And just know that it will do it, So, So it actually looks like it's turning out just fine. So after a couple more prints on this, I don't really think I have much else to do on this one, and I'll do maybe a bed sheet test, and that's about it. Because if I'm printing just right here, maybe there's a problem somewhere else. So I like to do the bed squares, because with the bed square, I get a pretty good idea of how it's going to print if I use the entire bed. So, but most of the time, I think, you know, you're going to be pretty much inside this square that's carved into here. You're going to be using pretty small area. I mean, a lot of times, most everything can fit on a really small printer. It's just those times when you need to print something that's kind of long, you know, and you can't print it in multiple pieces, you know. But anyway, it looks like it's going good. So we're printing PETG, which is what I print. So that's what's important, is I need to have it working for that. I don't need it working for PLA. I don't use PLA.